Okay, retail building industry, it's very similar to other industry in some respect, but also it's quite different from another respect. Now, first of all, it's very competitive industry. Okay, there are quite a lot of companies in private sector and in public sector. So, and when you choose in public sector, actually, it's not that many companies, and much more companies in the private sector. And when you see a lot of big chains in private sector, you know that they compete in a much stronger position, because if it's owned by one person or group of people, small group of people, they're more aggressive in the growth area. Okay, they could be much more competitive, and they're looking always in a long term rather than some directors in a public company who focused on the current profit in order to satisfy like investors and to get their own bonuses. Now, if you look different reports, you will see that retail building supply industry has a direct correlation with housing market. And I presume it's very logical to understand, because if like there are a lot of houses, new houses like are built, so of course you need a lot of tools, equipment, like materials, all this which is bought through those stores. Okay, and it's very, very straightforward. But of course there are some exceptions, and we're going to look at our particular company, which is Tractor Supply, and you will notice, I will ask you to notice how it went through the difficult time of 2008 and 9 when the housing market collapsed, right? And if this direct correlation was true, completely true, so probably we will see that that particular company, which we're going to cover, has to collapse as well in their price and in their earnings, in their etc. etc. Okay, but probably before we continue, I'm just asking who already reviewed that company and paid attention to that area. All right. Okay. No worries. It would be even more interesting. Okay. Okay. Perfect. So another, when you look at this particular industry, there are hundreds of companies, and some of them they're niche companies. And a couple of years ago, we looked at Lumber Liquidator. This company focused only on flooring, so they have all flooring materials in order to put the flooring, like glue, like timber, whatever, but also tiles, and not only timber tiles, like any other tiles, etc. So, but they work only in this niche industry. And of course, there are a lot of companies which are working with a wide range of product companies like Home Depot, Tesco. In Australia, in Sydney, it's Bunnings, where you can go and buy practically everything. But Bunnings wouldn't be as big as Home Depot or other companies, because they still have quite narrow product range compared with Home Depot, which is much bigger company. And if you go to this type of companies, you will see everything there: building materials, supplies, hardware, tools, plumbing, electrical supplies. In some companies, you will buy electronics, which you install when you're building a house, paint, sundries, and all other products like lawn mowers, garden tools, farms equipment, and supplies, floor covering, etc., etc. Now, some of them companies, they're focused on one specific area more and less on another. Some companies have very even distribution of different materials. Okay, and some companies also, they have, and mostly it's considered to niche companies, they have in-house installation services. Like, for example, Lumber Liquidator, you can order the installer right from their store. And for some people, it's very important, because it's very difficult sometimes and challenging to find a proper tradee, because they're all trying to prove that they're very experienced and very low priced. But in reality, we can discover a very different situation. So some companies, they offer this installation, and it's pretty good. So customers love it. Okay, in this particular. So when you analyze the company, you have to consider all these areas when you analyze it. Now, another thing which is very interesting, that some companies, even their retail, some companies, they even don't have front shops. They operate only from warehouses. For example, when I had my company in Ireland, we ordered a lot of materials, building materials and supplies, tools from online stores. They didn't have even proper online presence. We had a catalog and we had to call them and order. And all these like supplies which we needed were delivered within a week. Probably half of our orders were done online, and half of them we would go to local store, because I presume you know that everything is done in the last moment, and sometimes our fitters will call us and tell us, oh, we don't have this, we don't have that, our saw is gone, our nails are gone, we need new screws and etc. So we will send them to local store like that, okay, and they will buy that. It's quite often happens, the situation. Very often those stores, they focus on tradies, so their main customers not those guys who do DIY, but actually tradies. So they buy it and then install it. And very often for tradies, it doesn't really matter the price, because customer pays for the price, and they just tell customer, look, that's the best product, and we buy it. In some stores, they have even special program from tradies, where tradie buys and then they have an account and they get certain points, and then tradie can use their like points to get free products or something like that, or services. So they kind of make money on buying products in certain stores. I'm not sure if situation like that available in Bunnings, but in some stores definitely we have this situation. Okay, that's kind of building supply industry. I don't know, guys, if you want to add something, you might know something what I don't know, and maybe some kind of points will be important to understand. But you know that it's quite huge premises, and when you're choosing between online company and offline company, both of them, they have advantages, because I presume when you enter Bunnings, you will see it's huge, and sometimes you don't know even what you want. And if customers, they are trying to put wallpaper on the wall or buy a paint, it's very difficult sometimes to make a decision when you're looking at online, because it never looks the same. But when you go to the store, it's actually much easier to pick the product. Okay, and that's the thing. And some people just love this experience of going to the store. From another point, online store companies, what they do, they save a lot of money on on the rent of shops. And I presume these guys, that's a huge cost. Okay, but probably they don't have that huge range of products, and customers, they wouldn't buy everything, so it would be difficult to introduce something new. Whereas in stores, they always have certain sales promotions for specific new products. Yeah, absolutely, Dory. Yeah, plus the sale guy always can help you to the store. Another thing also, specifically, it's considered to be for our company, Tractor Supply. They focused on they like target customers are farmers, and those guys are not really internet savvy people, and they all prefer to, because for them it's like an event to go to the store to talk to the local guys. It's a certain culture, right? And that's where Tractor Supply, they have their niche. Okay, they work specifically with those clients, and those clients, they prefer to go in the store and look at the product and talk to the customer, etc., 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 right? So not all of them, they would go and buy it online. Although there are, of course, there is new generation of people, they're changing their habits and they're buying online as well. So we have to take into consideration.